Yeah.
Let me know when. I'm gonna give you a countdown, okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right, 3, 2, 1.
All right, guys. Thank you for pulling up and watching me debate Ahmed Qureshi. I appreciate him. Appreciate him. Appreciate him. Particularly the Eastern Orthodox view, based on an eternity, infinity, and the principle of sufficient reason. My first contention with God, or the Islamic concept of God, is that if God is infinite, that means without measure. And measurement requires limitation. If something can be measured, then that means it has extent, that it has boundaries, and that it is also finite. Okay? So if an infinite being must be without any internal measurement, that means there can't be any increase, no decrease, no becoming, no sequences. Okay? So if an infinite being cannot undergo change because change requires measurement, then it simply means that God must be unchangingly true. Now, when we get into the concept of eternality and time, which my friend here is going to appeal to a different concept of time than I am, but he cannot reject a rational structure. And this means by this: eternal does not mean long time, Muslims, please. Eternal does not mean a long time. I hear this a lot of times in the debates where is God always doing this? Is God always doing that? Presupposing that there is some kind of sequence to an unchanging reality, right? So eternal means timeless and simply the measure of change. If there is no change, there's no time. If there's no time, there's no sequence. If there's no new states in God, right? Therefore, any valid eternal being must be timeless, changeless, fully actual, without any potential, with no composition, and not acquiring any new properties or relations within time. A being who becomes something is not eternal, because that's sequence, and sequence requires change. Sequence and sequence requires change. Sequence and sequence requires change, before and after, point A to point B. There's something called the principle of sufficient reason, PSR. It states that every contingent fact requires a complete explanation. And this is what is accepted across tons of across classical theism in itself and analytic philosophy. That if the universe is contingent, which it clearly is, then its cause, its reason, must be necessary, unchanging, eternal, simple, and without any potential. Otherwise, the cause itself would need a cause, which would make no sense, right? There's a contradiction. So whatever has potentiality is contingent, because the capacity to change shows that it does not have existence by necessity. Change implies potentiality, potentiality implies non-necessary, and non-necessity refers to contingency.
Yo, bro, we can't hear you if you're talking.
Wait, you can't hear me now?
Yeah, go ahead.
What was the last thing you guys heard?
I think the last word was contingency.
Oh, okay, perfect. Yes, so what I'm saying is that if there is a change that requires potentiality, and if the potentiality requires something being not necessary, something non-necessary means that it is contingent. Okay, and here's another philosophical and cosmological structure says that if the cause of the universe is to be contingent, is what we call the argument of radical contingency, then you would have an infinite regress of contingent beings. So A caused B to happen, B caused C to happen, C caused D to happen, and forever, which is redundant, right? It makes no sense. Therefore, the first cause cannot in itself be contingent, potential, dependent on anything external from its being. So again, as Muslims say, if someone asserts that the first cause is a single person who undergoes internal change, then you have several problems that arise here. Okay, we already went over, like I said, if God changes intrinsically to his being, then God is contingent. God is potential. God is non-necessary. He has this external dependency to something that is external from his being. Okay. According to the Muslims, they affirm that their God has potentiality, that he has new state of affairs, or that he goes under different states, how he loves, how he has a supposed eternal love, but then doesn't love anybody from eternity, that his love isn't actualized until he creates. Then you ask the question to the Muslim, okay, who did your God love eternally, and who else but God, that's an eternal being, existed with him for him to essentially share this love with, right? And they'll say nobody. It's logically impossible. We believe in Tawhid, people. We believe in Tawhid. There's no other being, no other person that is eternal, that existed with Allah, right? So then they have to come to the conclusion that their God requires creation. And creation is going to be external from the being of their God. So therefore their God needs creation in order to be something, right? Therefore their God violates PSR in the argument of radical contingency. The reason why the Trinity solves this issue is because we don't believe God within his nature changes. We believe he's outside of the concept of time. He lives in an uncreated reality, not in a reality that undergoes sequence, right? So according to the Muslims, they also affirm that their God and his actions are not eternal. They don't believe God eternally wills anything. They believe that he does things within creation, within that aspect of time, right? Whether it's they believe their God is the most merciful, the most loving. There's anything that they try to explain their God being relational to, there's nothing for their God to be relational to before he created. So therefore he needs creation in itself in order to be this, to be that. But God is exactly what he is by necessity, not by contingency. So like I said, for the opening statements, all I'm doing is proving that their God violates PSR, that their God violates a cosmological structure. And if they deny the PSR and radical contingency, then they themselves are they and their reasoning is irrational, right? And what they take their God to be is illogical. As simple as that. As simple as that. And obviously, I know my opponent here, Ahmed Qureshi. I've watched tons of his debates and his videos. I know he's going to equivocate. I know he's going to commit fallacies. I know he's going to speak in Latin. If he does today, I don't know if he does, but if he does, I wouldn't be surprised. And I know he's just going to equivocate a lot of terms. Like, for an example, he thinks we as Trinitarians believe the essence of God is a sortal. He believes it's a genus. He believes that the essence of God is some universal and that the relations are just instances of one universal. Guys, I mean, if you don't believe me, you can watch his YouTube debates. His first video. Oh, it's funny. Anyways, right? That's all Muslims can do is just equivocate, commit fallacies, speak unknown languages. Come on, man. Now getting to the Trinity with the last 2 minutes. Obviously, he's going to try to bring Leibniz's law. He's going to try to bring the law of transitivity, the law of indiscernibles. But like I said, you just have to wait until the cross exams. I'm going to show him literally how it's not illogical. Because I know that's what he usually does. He equivocates person with being. It's another one. And he thinks that relation refers to an instance or an instantiation. Crazy, man. Crazy. I guess that's it, y'all. That's really not much. Oh, and they also think just because 3 persons share the same nature that they must be identical in personhood, which is also not the case. Just to let you guys know, for the people who don't know, and for the Muslims that always root on other Muslims when it comes to philosophical debates, but they're just laughing just to support him, not because they actually know what he's saying. The law of indiscernibles is just stating that if A and B possess all the same ontological properties, they must be identical. But they must be identical in the sense of substance and nature and essence. And that's what we believe. We believe that the 3 persons are indiscernible in nature, but discernible in personhood. So therefore, does not violate the law of indiscernibles. What about it? The law of transitivity, if A equals B and B equals C, then A equals C. Yeah, that's doesn't violate the Trinity at all. Anyways, I guess I'll just concede the rest of my 50 seconds. Alman, you're go ahead. It's your turn.
Are you sure you want to concede the time?
Yeah, that's all I got.
All right, for sure. Thank you for the opening, bro. All right, Ahmed, let me know when you're ready.
Okay.
Let's give Ahmed a big screen, inshallah.
Give me the screen. Itachi, where you at? Give me the screen. All right, some mod, give me other. A grass core, drop a word.
Yeah, give me big screen alongside him just so you can see the time.
Okay.
All right, perfect. And I'll give you a countdown from 3. All right, 3, 2, 1.
All right, in the name of God, the most compassionate, the most merciful, keep in mind, this is my opening statement. I'm not able to refute anything he said in previous. That's going to be the rebuttals. I bear witness that there's no God but Allah, and that Muhammad, peace be upon his messenger. The purpose for this examination is to examine the thesis of the Trinity, a 3-in-1 framework of 3 persons sharing the same ontological essence, or the thesis of Tawhid, a one-of-one God, nothing like creation ontologically, transcendent to where he has no equal, neither begets nor is begotten, the uncreated eternal creator is large, coherent. My opponent is the Eastern Orthodox, thus I'll be critiquing the framework of monarchical Trinitarianism. I'll be also critiquing the energy S distinction granted by Sigrid and Palamas. To clarify about my position, I'm an Athari. My source for theonomy is the Quran and the Sunnah. We hold that God has real attributes that are distinct, yet intrinsic and inseparable from him, while not having ontological priority, meaning the attributes do not exist prior to the essence, nor does the essence exist posterior to the attributes, but they have a counterfactual dependency according to Ibn Taymiyyah. And I also hold that God has attributes that can be either transitive or intransitive. What we mean by transitive attributes is going to be an attribute by Cambridge relation. A Cambridge relation can be an agent and a patient. Now, what we mean by intransitive attributes is an attribute that does not take on a patient. It's immanent within the agent itself. We also epistemically describe God by cataphatic and apophatic propositions. Now, to examine the classical Trinitarian framework, the Trinity in the classical theism, they believe that there are 3 divine persons: the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. And let's see, if it considers logical and metaphysical scrutiny. Now, there's 7 propositions. The Father is God. The Son is God. The Holy Spirit is God. The Father is not the Son. The Son is not the Holy Spirit. And the Father is not the Holy Spirit either. And they conclude there's only one God. On the apparent prima facie, there's 3 is God statements. 3 statements explicitly declaring distinction between each subjects. And they're all followed by the clarification that there's only one God. This poses an issue, a dilemma, that requires logical reconciliation. So I'll ask my opponent this in the cross-examination. Are the persons God by identity, or are they God by predication? If word loses, believes that they're a God by identity, a set of problems follows. We must clarify what type of identity, and he must argue for why this particular form stands when it comes to the Trinity. If he says a person are God by predication, this results in necessary discourse on whether or not an essence which is previously defined as essential predicates can be predicate in and of itself. Another issue that would arise from the Trinity will be the argument of classical counting method. How exactly do we count how many gods there are, and what is accepted about how we count things by identity, and which is their parents, and use this counting method necessarily entails a multiplicity of gods in the Trinity. And I'll ask my opponent to appeal to counting by division. He's gonna appeal by counting by division, so to avoid a multitude within his Godhead. I'll press further my cross exams, but until then, we can move on to rebuttals. I'm looking forward to address my arguments against Tawhid and simultaneously, hopefully, get a response to my arguments against the Trinity. I'll quickly consume my time. Let's get rebuttals.
Oh boy, you ready, man?
Yo, quick little intro. All right. So you guys said 7 minutes. Let's get it. And shoot. Okay. So let's give the word big screen, and then let's go from there, inshallah. All right, so just to clarify, for Ahmed and for both of you, when you ask clarifying questions, like let's say, for example, when you're questioning Ahmed and he has a clarifying question, he is allowed to ask that clarifying question, but I'm going to pause the time while he asks it. So the time.
So this is rebuttals, right?
Yeah. Sorry, for cross-exam. That's specifically for cross-exam.
Oh, okay.
All right, are you ready?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Let's give it a screen. Mod.
Wait, what's going on?
Oh yeah, we're just waiting for you to get big screen, and then we can get started on inshallah. There we go. And I'm going to give you a countdown from 3, all right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, 3, 2, 1.
My opponent barely had any opening statements, so there's not much really to respond to. He had asked me a specific question though, and I just want to address it in the sense of, already affirming this position. When we say Jesus is God, the Father is God, the Holy Spirit is God, this is going to be my predication. If you didn't know, so Jesus is God, the Father is God, the Holy Spirit is God by predication. If I were to say by identity, I'm pretty sure that automatically assumes like an absolute identity, meaning in every sense. We don't believe that, right? And aside from that, he also said that the attributes of his God, there's going to be some that are transitive and intransitive. And if he didn't say that, then that's I need correction. But I'm pretty sure he said that there's attributes of his God that are intransitive or transitive. I'm pretty sure by the simple definitional sense, transitive and intransitive. Transitive is going to be the transfer of the action to something else outside, and then intransitive is going to be the action that stops with the subject, right? So there's no object, right? So if he believes that there's an attribute such as loving is supposed to be transitive or intransitive, that's just going to be one of the main questions in the cross exams. Like I said, not much really to rebuttal with him. We'll have to see what goes on in cross exams. Like I said, he still hasn't made anything in his opening statements that shows that his God is unchangingly true, that his God is non-contingent. I'm pretty sure he affirms his God can change. So we'll see. I guess that's really all I have to say. You can I can see the rest of my time.
Okay. All right. 7 minutes for Ahmed. Let's get him big screen.
All right, bismillah. Damn, God by predication? Oh, brother.
I'm going to give you a countdown. 3. All right.
If you want, I mean, okay.
Okay, brother.
Go ahead.
2, 1.
All right, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. He was talking about the PSR, the principle of sufficient reason. What he did, he brought the PSR and he conflated with the Kalam cosmological argument. All simply, without sophistry, a PSR, a principle of sufficient reason, declares that for any cause or for any entity, there's a sufficient reason that's proportionate to the subject. Okay? But when it comes to Kalam cosmological argument, this is demonstrated by the social Trinitarian William Lane Craig, who said the universe, it was created, it has a cause, therefore the universe has a maker. Okay? He also said that Allah has potentiality. Okay? Nowhere in our books do we explicitly say potentiality. However, potentiality is ambiguous. And we divide potentiality either to active potentiality and passive potentiality. And even the pure act theists, the Christians, that God has a potentiality passively, God still has active potentiality. So I reject that Allah has passive potentiality. He's never a patient without being the agent intransitively, but he is the agent without being a patient. So God can have active potentiality, and this is even said by the same people, St. Thomas Aquinas in the book of Metaphysics, and you're not Thomas, but even he says, he holds the pure act, that even he says that God has active potentiality, active dynamis, active power, while having no passive potentiality. All that means is that God cannot be acted upon and have changed by another agent, or else he will have a composer. However, God can be the agent, and he can have an action that was from potentiality to meeting antilesia. He also asked, who did Allah love before creation? Tap on my profile, scroll 3 columns down, or review this in the freaking car next to a Popeyes. I review this in front of you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he's called Al-Wadud. Who did Allah love before creation? He is the most loving as a noun based on his attributes. Now, Allah gets his name, the most loving, not because of his actions, but he gets his names, the most loving, because of his attributes. The evidence of this is the Prophet's most famous hadith about his dua. He said, Ya muqallib al-qulub thabit qalbi ala dinik. He said, oh, turn the hearts. Keep my heart steadfast on your religion. The Prophet described Allah as being the turn of the hearts. He's described as being an actor of an agent. But out of 99 Allah's names, there's no title nor name called Muqallib al-Qulub, the turn of the hearts. Why? Because Allah's names are not abstractions of His actions. Allah's names are going to be abstractions from His attributes. So the PSR is going to be unproportionate. Allah does not have to get a title to do something. Allah has titles because of His essence. And because Allah is the most perfect being, He necessarily has the attribute of having love. And love is not transitive, it's going to be intransitive. It's intransitive meaning that there's no external patient to which Allah loves. Allah intransitively has love within His essence. Now, based on your consistency, I can ask you, your own Bible says that God is a jealous God. Who did your God love? Who was your God jealous of before creation? If you say the Father was jealous of the Son, who was the Son worshiping before Yahweh? Because your God's jealous because there's going to be polytheism excluding God. God wants other people to worship Him other than Him. Now, you fall a dilemma back on yourself. He also misconstrued the law of identity. He said, liveness, law of identity. Brother, you do not want to go liveness, law of identity. Liveness has two laws. The indiscernibility of identity, one, and the identity of indiscernibility. Why would you appeal to that? This is not first order logic, this is second order logic. You cannot quantify properties in first order logic, you only quantify properties in second order logic. Also, Principia Mathematica, Bertrand Russell, he also says the same thing. He includes Leibniz's law of identity when it comes to identity statements. Also, when you say that Yahweh is God by predication, uqsum billah, the debate is over. You said that that Jesus is God the same way Ahmed is mortal. Jesus is an instance of God inside of him. Now let me ask you, if God is an essence, and an essence is the set of essential properties, and if Jesus has a property of being God, but God itself also has a set of properties, you fall into infinite regress if you say that Jesus is predicate of God by predication. Because now he has a set of properties. It's infinite regress, brother. Also, just to clear up, he also quoted that if God is infinite, God is without limit. This is going to be very ambiguous. When we say that God is infinite, that means it's going to be countless, it's going to be proceeding bigger. Okay? Now we know that proposition of God's knowledge is infinite, but the multiplicity of God, the quantity of God is not going to be infinite. For example, I can say that there's only one God. And I can say that God's eternal. He cannot stop to existing. That's not limiting God. That's putting non-arbitrary limits. When we predicate things of God, when I say that God is X and Y, then he gets the opposition of X and Y. If I say God is eternal, that necessarily implies that he has no beginning, no end. Therefore, if you ask, oh, why can't God stop existing? That's a limit. That's not a limit. That's non-arbitrary limits. Words have meaning, and it negates the opposition of that word. I consider this my time. Let's go to cross-examination.
All right, and the first person cross-examining his word, so you're gonna get your 15. All right, and I'm gonna give you a countdown. And just to clarify again, one more time. So, Ahmed, if you need to ask clarifying questions, you are allowed to ask, but I'm gonna pause his time when you ask, okay?
تفضل.
All right, and word, that's okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
All right, and just to clarify, is my mic all right? Or is it like kind of muffled? Is it good? Testing.
It's fine with me, yeah.
Okay. All right, and I'm gonna get a countdown. 3, 2, 1.
All right, Ahmed. Does the existence of a contingent universe require an explanation and a necessary non-contingent cause?
Okay, does a contingent universal does what?
Does the existence of a contingent universe, does it require an explanation and a necessary non-contingent cause?
So all you're asking is that the universe is contingent and needs a necessary being. Yes, that's all you're saying?
Yes.
Okay, so why not just say that?
Okay, perfect. If the first cause goes under any internal change, doesn't that change require sufficient reason beyond the first cause itself?
When you say beyond the first cause itself, are you saying like outside the agent?
Outside of creation.
Outside of creation?
The first cause is going to be creation. So if the first cause, meaning, or if the sustainer or the uncaused cause had a first cause, what grounds that, or what is the sufficient reason
I'm sorry.
beyond that?
If the uncaused cause, you mean God?
Yes.
Okay, so what about God?
I'm saying if he himself changes, what is the sufficient reason for that change?
Okay, and how are you defining change to be?
Sequence.
A sequence?
Yes.
If God has a sequence,
State A to state B. Do you not know what that is?
I reject that.
I'm asking you. Oh my gosh, you're not understanding. I'm saying if that is the case, okay, do you believe your God goes under sequence?
Okay, so if you're asking, if God has a T1 and a T2 and they're synchronically distinct and a PSR agent is external to God, I reject that. That's a non sequitur. What?
Okay. Next question. If the cause of the universe is contingent, doesn't that require, or doesn't that create an infinite regress of contingent causes with no necessary foundation if your God himself is contingent?
Sorry. So all you're saying, if the cause of the universe could be other way, that would be an infinite regress because it has to be a necessary starting point. That's all you're saying.
Yeah, so if your God had potential...
So why not just say that? Yes.
If your God... Okay.
I agree. It has to be a necessary creator.
Okay, thank you. If God is eternal, do you agree he cannot move from a state from not willing creation to willing creation? And would that be temporal change?
Okay, if God is eternal, can you go from one state to not willing something to another? I reject that. Eternal just describes the ontological modality of a being. Will has to do with the intellect.
Okay, am I allowed to get responses to that or no?
I don't care, bro. I don't care what you mean.
Was that not a sufficient response, or?
Well, no. I just believe every time you ask a question, they respond. I'm just asking as an answer.
Oh yeah.
Do we give an
Every
answer?
single time that he asks a question, the time's gonna be paused, so you can.
Yeah, we clarify questions. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So when I said then when you affirm that your God is eternal, but then he possesses intrinsic properties or attributes that are distinct from his essence, that which go under change or sequence, because potential requires sequence. Sequence is state A to state B. So if your God had potentiality, meaning one of his properties, are not actualized until creation, that means that your God goes under change, and change is sequence, and sequence is going to be the measurement. So if you believe that your God is eternal, he cannot possess things that which are potential.
I don't accept sequence as a measurement.
Okay, is sequence point A to point B?
A sequence is okay. A sequence could be an index of point A to point B. It's an index.
Okay, is point A to point B not a measurement?
Brother, point A to point B, that's a Cambridge relation, not a measurement.
Yeah, are relational measurement sequences?
Relational, how do you measure relations?
Oh my gosh. Is A related to B?
A, if there's a Cambridge relation from A to B, there's going to be a relative relation.
Right, so is that, from state A would be the before and state B is the after. Is that not a measurement?
Okay. Now you included before and after. Now you're implying temporal events logically or metaphysically. Okay, that can be before and after. That could be a sequence. A sequence, not a measurement, brother.
Yeah, a sequence is a measurement. What are you talking? It's a relational measurement.
It's an index.
It's a relational measurement.
It's how do you measure relations?
Bro, stop going back.
Okay. Next question. If God is infinite, and infinity means without measure, how can he undergo any measured sequence which is change?
Okay, if God is infinite, well, that's just ambiguous. We say it's infinite and reduced from its predicamentals. For example, God is not infinite by how many gods there are. I consider there's one God, but isn't God infinite? Why is not infinite gods? God's infinite in proportion to his predicamentals, from his qualities, from his attributes. They have no measure in degree. Now, when we say God's infinite, we're talking about his degree. His knowledge is infinite. He has an infinite amount of knowledge, but God's quantity is only one, brother. So change,
I don't think I understand the question.
But change has to do with the ontological grounding of a being, right? If it goes from potentiality to actuality. But infinity just describes there's going to be no measured degree of any predicamental.
Yeah, so infinite is literally the definition of something that which is unmeasurable, correct?
Infinite is just going to be anything that's going to be... I accept your definition, yeah. I'll accept your definition.
Okay, is God infinite?
Is God infinite? Yeah, in proportion to his attributes.
Okay. Within the essence of God, is there any measurement?
Okay, within the essence of God, is there any measurement? What do you mean measurement?
Does your God and his attributes, do they go from a state of potentiality to actuality?
Yeah, there can be ikhtiyar, there can be volitional attributes that go from potentiality to actuality, but not as essential.
Okay, so what's an attribute that is potential then goes actual?
Yeah, Ibn Taymiyyah in volume 5, Majmu' Fatawa, he says Hadith al-Ahad. The Quran, for example, it went from potentiality to actuality, is instance of the genus. But the genus is eternal. The genus of speech is eternal, but the instantiation of speech is going to be from potentiality to actuality. That brings on antilesia.
Okay, so you do affirm that there's a before this attribute is potential, and after this attribute is actual, right?
Yes, we're neoclassical theists. That's what neoclassical theism is.
Thank you. So you just affirm that there's a temporal change within the essence of your God. Okay, next question. If God begins to have a new intention, doesn't that imply God shifted from potential to actual? And would this mean that God is not pure actuality?
Okay. So restate your question one more time.
If God begins to have a new intention, doesn't that imply that God shifted from potential to actual, which means God is not pure actuality?
Well, if you define pure actuality, active or passive?
Active.
Yeah, God can have active potentiality, not passive.
No, I'm asking you, if he has a new intention, wouldn't that defeat pure actuality?
We don't believe that God has pure act.
Okay. So you believe your God has passive potency?
No, we don't believe passive potency. We believe they have active potency. Did you hear my intro? We don't believe in pure act.
Yeah, I know you don't believe in like the classical. I know that you believe that your God is potential.
I'll clarify my position for you. For your sake, we are neoclassical theism. Neoclassical theism says God can have active potentiality, brother. Okay, there's no issue. If you didn't know this, it's fine. You can know this now. Neoclassical theists that God can have active potentiality, but not passive potentiality.
So what does active potency mean?
Thank you. Active potentiality is just a transitive operation that goes from anything that's going to be from potential to actual within the patient itself, between the agent and the patient.
Okay. So potential to actual. Perfect. And is that not a before and after?
Brother, the difference between potential to actual, between passive and active, is that active is the agent acting upon the patient. Passive is the patient being acted upon from the agent. That's the two relations.
Okay, so again, is it a before and after?
Is it a before and after for a God's volitional attribute of potentiality to actuality?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And didn't you earlier say that? Thank you. So didn't earlier you affirmed that before and after is a temporal change?
Before and after, yeah, we can grant a temporal change when it comes to measurement of motion. That's external to God. But because it's within God's, it's within God's essence, it's not going to be temporal.
Okay, so according to the argument of radical contingency, it affirms that anything that which changes cannot be the sufficient reason. Do you affirm or not affirm that?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. What'd you say?
According to the argument of radical contingency, it states that the being that's the reason for why all contingent things exist in itself must not change. Do you agree or not agree?
I agree. It doesn't change passively. It can change actively.
Okay, what does it mean to change actively?
Great. Actively is a relation between the agent and the patient. Passively is when the agent will be acted upon. So I'll tell you why they say this. Radical contingency, they say that because God cannot be acted upon, or else there's another person acting upon God. But God is the creator without being created. This is an example of active potentiality. But if God was created, this would be passive potentiality. So I reject passive potentiality, that there's nobody above God that creates God, but God is an agent and he acts upon the patient below him in the hierarchy. Therefore, God's an agent. And active potentiality rises between the agent and the patient by chemical relation.
Okay, so this patient that you're referring to, is this going to be external from his being?
The patient that I'm referring to, is it external to his being?
Yes.
And inside transitive operations, a patient is external to the agent. Yes.
Okay, so before he created, did this patient exist?
Okay, before God created, the patient didn't exist in transitive operations. No.
Okay. So you believe that your God, did he create eternally or did he create temporally?
No. God can have the genus of creation, but the actual expressions or the actual patience can exist temporally. Now, because it's going to be temporal, temporality is a conception of abstraction of motion, and motion is going to be measured external to God's essence. So we get time outside God's essence.
Yeah, again, time is created, so we're referring to before.
I don't agree. Time is created.
Okay, what is time?
Brother, time is not created. We have
what is time?
Allah's time.
I'm asking you, what is time?
Is the abstraction of motion. Who told you that time is created? Are you crazy?
That's false. Time is the measurement of change. Agree or disagree?
Brother, what is change?
Change is before and after sequence.
Is change motion?
Change is motion.
Okay. Is time the conception of motion?
It's the measurement of motion.
Okay. Is the measurement instrumental or extramental?
What do you mean? It's both. The measurement can exist outside and inside the mind. What are you talking about?
Measuring something,
Ahmed.
you measure outside your mind?
Brother.
He did ask a question. It's okay. It's okay. Don't.
It's fine.
Yeah. So.
Can we just go back? Listen, it's not supposed to be back and forth. Ahmed, you're allowed clarifying questions, but once it turns into a back and forth, I have to stop it.
Okay, for your answer, we reject the time is created.
Okay. So if measurements are finite and not infinite, and eternality is anything that which is infinite, and infinite is without measure, can time, meaning the measurement, exist within eternality?
Brother, time cannot be eternal in the sense it exists forever and ever, in the sense that it exists with God, because time is going to be not independent nor dependent from motion. This is explicit what also Aristotle says in his book of physics.
Yeah, so again, right, I can actually just grant you that time itself, yeah, we can say that it's abstract. I'm saying that not all measurements are both exponential and instrumental, right? For an example, like I'm just talking in the sense of relational measurements. That in itself, relational measurements, is that exponential? Yes or no?
What does it mean for there to be a relational measurement?
For there to be sequence.
So a relational measurement sequence?
Yes, relational measurements is going to include sequences.
Okay, so a relational measurement, if it's a sequence between T1 and T2, and T1 is identical to T2, there's going to be a temporal distinction. They're synchronically distinct, but diachronically identical.
So again, I'm going to ask you, okay? Damn, bro, I look-y forgot what was my last question. If God, okay, is he in time or outside of time?
We can say that God can act in time.
So is he in time or out? Is he inside of time or outside of time?
When you say inside, are you saying he's confined by time?
Is he confined by measurements?
What do you mean confined? You said time, I saying measurements.
In the sense of relational measurements, is your God confined by that?
Okay. Is my God confined by relational measurements? No.
Yes.
God can exist without a patient.
Okay. Thank you. So if that is the case, then does your God go from a state of being of before and after? Yes or no?
Okay, does my God go for a state of being before and after?
From a state of being of before and after.
From a state of being?
Yes.
From before and after? You mean that can God have synchronic distinctions in him?
Oh my gosh. The question is, I'm going to ask it again because this is one of the questions I asked in the beginning. The properties, the attributes of God, do they in themselves go under before and after sequences?
Can they be synchronically distinct? Yes.
Okay. So you affirm that if before and afters are temporal changes and that relational measurements is anything that which has a sequence, then you affirm that your God is relationally measured within his essence. Therefore you affirm that your God changes intrinsically in a relational aspect, meaning time cannot be eternal if eternality is the direct contradictive to time.
That's a non sequitur.
Okay. The definition, according to the definition of eternality, it says anything that which does not change. Yes or no? Is your God...
I reject that. I reject that definition. What?
Okay, things that are eternal can change?
Bro, all eternal means is no beginning, no end. Perpetual means beginning, no end. Who taught you that?
Okay, is beginning and end a measurement?
Beginning, and no end. They're going to be temporal measurements. Yes.
Okay, thank you. So is eternality measurementless?
Bro, the substance itself can be measured, yes, but you cannot measure the beginning nor the end because it's not gonna have a beginning nor an end. You can't measure that. But if there's one thing, you can measure that. When we say that God is infinite, we can say that okay, he has attributes, he has knowledge that's gonna be infinite, but we know that God's one God, not infinite amount of gods. But God has no beginning, no end. All eternal, qadim means is that no beginning, no end, brother.
Okay, thank you. So you affirm that eternal means without measure because no beginning, no end.
No one said that.
Stop, don't cut me off. Don't cut me off. Don't cut me off. Don't cut me off. Okay, again, I'm going to ask you one more time. Is no beginning, no end, no measurement?
Okay. No beginning and no end for something by the ontological being per se is not measurable from a state of existence, but intrinsically, the predicamentals can be measured. I can signify how many gods there are in Tawhid. There's only one God, but there's not an infinite amount of gods. If God's going to be eternal and something eternal to be infinite, why aren't there an infinite amount of gods? No, it's infinite in proportion to its predicamentals, its qualities, brother.
Okay, since you're not answering the question, I'm just going to move on. Is God's decision to create eternal or temporal?
What?
Is God's decision to create eternal or temporal?
Is it God's decision to create temporal or eternal?
I'm asking you, is God's decision to do anything, is it, in the sense of creating, is it eternal or temporal?
It could be either eternal, or it could be temporal. God can create something by His will right now, or God can create something from His will, predestined for eternity. God can, for eternity, know what something is going to create, proportion is going to be. So God can create. God can have the knowledge of the ikhtiyar, but the actualization of the expression can change temporally. Is that time?
Yeah, it's time. Do you want to wrap up the answer and then?
Yeah, I can. Can I give an answer?
I mean, like, can he wrap up his answer? Because
I can wrap it up. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, so I just reject everything that he had just mentioned.
Wait,
again.
Whoa, no, that's not what I meant. What I meant is that you were asking him the question, so he gets to wrap up the answer that he was giving.
Oh, I thought you. No, it's because I thought after every answer he gives, I can respond to it, but I guess not.
No. You can rebut it with a question, but you're not supposed to.
It's all good. It's all good. He can just go ahead and ask the questions.
All right, 15-minute class for Ahmed. I'm going to give you 3 seconds to combat, okay? All right, 3, 2, 1.
Did you take time to study about Tawhid prior to this debate?
Yes.
Right now, name me 3 categories of Tawhid.
3 categories of Tawhid? Yeah, I didn't focus on that.
Okay. Are the persons in the Trinity, are they separated?
No.
If someone said they're separated, is this heresy?
You're gonna refer to that church father. Again, I didn't read the church father, so I can't give a response.
No, I'm not afraid. No, are the persons separated?
No, not ontologically, and neither.
Okay, so ontologically, if it's separated, what heresy is this?
Tritheism, polytheism.
Saint Basil of Caesarea, letter 38, chapter 4, the hypostases are separated. You called Saint Basil of Caesarea the highest holarchy, the Cappadocian father heretic. Now let me ask you, is God's energies and his essence, are they distinct?
Yes.
Really or conceptually?
Really.
Okay. Who is Philoptis Kokinos?
I don't know.
He is the one who gave sainthood to Saint Gregory Palamas. Why does Philoptis Kokinos in Patrologia Graecae, volume 151, say the energies and the essence are not distinct externally in reality, but only in the mind? The Greek words epinoia mean in the nous, in the intellect. Why?
Yeah, again, Ahmed, this has nothing to do with the debate.
This is the Trinity. Answer the question. Why does the person who granted sainthood to Philoptis Kokinos say that the energies in the essence are distinct, not really, but conceptually in the mind?
Yeah, may I give a response? Again, right, this has nothing to do with the debate, moderator.
This is the Trinity!
No.
This is the
Okay,
Trinity.
let me respond. Please let me give my time to respond. You are supposed to prove the Trinity is illogical based off logic, not with not.
Don't go back and
He doesn't
forth.
want to answer.
Don't go back and forth.
Okay, tafaddal. Okay, let me ask you, right? Okay. Does the hypostasis of Jesus, did it change? Ever?
What do you mean? Does a person? Does he go under change?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Okay, before Christ incarnated and after Christ incarnated, did he add a nature inside his one hypostasis?
And he didn't actually change though.
No. Did his hypostasis go from having one nature subsisting inside of it to two natures subsisting inside of it?
Yeah, but change it happens in the nature, not in the person.
No. What?
Mm-hmm.
Change goes inside of what?
It happens within the human nature.
No, I'm asking, the human nature is subsists within the hypostasis of Jesus, yes?
Yeah, but they're not. It's not like
No,
it's
answer
not-
my question. The nature,
Mm-hmm.
Christ went from going one person to one person having two natures. From one person to one nature to one person, two natures. So Christ changed, correct?
it's not a temporal change.
No, I said did it change?
It's not a temporal change.
Did it change in any sense?
Not in the temporal sense.
No, I said in any sense did it change?
Maybe in some sense. I don't know.
Okay, so maybe in some sense, right? Does the hypostasis subsist inside the divine essence or outside the divine essence?
How does that make any sense?
Sir, is the person intrinsic in the essence or extrinsic from the essence?
Obviously, the person possesses the full divine nature.
No, I never asked that. Does the person subsist inside the essence or outside the essence?
I'm pretty sure that's what intrinsic means.
Yes, I'm asking you, is it intrinsic or extrinsic from the essence?
Yeah, so I don't know why you just.
Sir, is it intrinsic or extrinsic? Answer it.
Yeah, in the sense that Jesus possesses the nature.
Sir, I'm not asking who possesses it. I'm asking, does Christ subsist within the hypostasis of the, does Christ's hypostasis subsist in the divine essence or outside of the divine essence? Which one?
Yeah, if you're meaning in the sense of like time and eternality, yeah, obviously he has.
Okay, host, he's not answering it. Okay, let me ask you, right?
Bro, what?
No.
You didn't even let me answer.
Okay, it's a true dichotomy. True dichotomy question. Cora?
You can get an answer, but then please just move on because you guys are just going like.
Okay,
Can I
a
just
true
ask a
dichotomy.
Cool,
Does
can I
the
ask a
person
clarifier?
of Jesus?
Yeah, you're allowed clarifiers. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Okay, a true dichotomy statement. No third option. Does the person of Jesus subsist intrinsic with the divine essence or extrinsic from the divine essence? Which one?
Yeah, my clarifying question is: are you referring to like, does the person, is he like extrinsically in the sense of like being like within a created reality, him being like
No,
spatially
when I say
distinct from the essence?
extrinsic,
I wasn't done with clarification.
when I say intrinsic,
I wasn't done with the clarification.
Okay, end it. Go ahead.
I'm asking you. Your clarifying question, or your question, is Jesus spatially distinct from the divine nature?
No one asked that.
I'm meaning an ontology.
Okay. When I'm asking, does Jesus subsist inside the divine essence or outside the divine essence? Which one?
Yeah. What do you mean by inside, intrinsic? What do you mean?
When I say
Time is
inside,
paused because he's asking clarifiers. The time is paused because the word wins is asking clarifiers. That's why it's paused.
he's gonna ask infinite amount. Listen, when I say
Let me know when
inside
you're
the
done with
divine
the
essence,
clarifier. Wait, okay, Ahmed, just let him ask the clarifier, answer it, and then we're gonna go back onto it. Okay?
okay, I ask your clarifier so we can all be witness to it. Go ahead.
Yeah. What do you mean by intrinsic?
Intrinsic means it's inside the divine essence. It subsists inseparable from the divine essence. It's inside the divine essence.
Yeah. So I'm asking you, like, what does that mean? Does it mean that he's possessing this nature?
Okay, sure. That he possesses the divine essence entirely, and that he represents the divine essence.
Yeah, not excluding all other persons in the being. That's what I refer.
No one said that. I'm
Well,
asking.
I'm just stating my position.
Okay,
Take the answer or leave it.
Okay, so is Jesus and God co-referential?
If you're referring to like the being, you can refer to all three persons. But
What's a being?
Okay, so are you gonna let me respond?
Yeah, but what's a being?
Are you gonna let me respond to the
Go
first
ahead.
question you asked me? To
Go
the first
ahead,
question
brother.
you asked
You're wasting
me.
my time.
You're wasting your own time.
Pause time. Pause time.
You can't get mad because you asked
Look
me
at
another
this,
question.
look at this.
Mid response, bro.
Okay, listen. If you're gonna ask a clarifier, I'm just gonna put it like this because now we're kind of just wasting time. We spent like 1 minute going back and forth. 1 minute of the time was paused. So you can ask one clarifier, the word wins,
No, I was giving a response, not a clarifier.
And okay, you can ask no, but when you pose it as a question, that's the clarifier. I'm gonna unpause it, and then after that, please let's keep it to one clarifier each. One clarifier per question. Okay.
But also, you have to like let me like respond to his question because he just like automatically.
Then let's do this. Let's do this. When you ask the clarifier, okay, he can answer, and then when he asks you a question, you get 30 seconds to answer.
Okay.
Is that all right, Ahmed? Are you cool with that?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, perfect. I'm gonna start again.
Yeah, so you asked me, is Jesus and God coreferential? Yeah, when we refer to coreferentiality, we're only referring to like, if the person, like when we refer to the being, are we referring to all three persons? Yes, so they're coreferential in that sense, but not in the sense of the Father and the Son being coreferential, just in the sense of being.
Okay. Okay. Is the Father and the Son the same God but different persons?
Yeah, they have the same nature, but two distinct relations.
Okay, and what's the nature?
Nature is just going to be like the set of essential properties of a thing.
Okay, what's an essence now?
I believe they're interchangeable.
No, they're not.
What's your question?
Nature comes from the Greek word physis. Essence comes from the Greek word ousia.
Yeah, it still affirms the same.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
So essence and okay, I can't even ask a question. Go ahead, Nick. What's your next question?
No issue. So you can respond. Listen, does God have accidental properties?
Does he have accidental properties? No.
Okay, so the three persons don't have accidental properties, yeah?
Yeah, they have hypostatic properties.
I never asked the hypostatic. I had accidental.
I'm stating my position.
I'm asking a true dichotomy, a yes or a no. Does God, the three persons, do they have accidental properties? Yes or no?
No.
Okay, great. For two things to share the same essence, do they must share the same essential properties? Yes or no?
In substance, yes.
Wait, I just said for two things to share the same essence, they must have the same essential properties. A yes or no?
Clarifying question. When you refer to thing, are you referring to the who-ness or the what-ness?
I'm referring to any value of an instance.
Yeah, we don't believe that.
Which is the who-ness.
Thank you. So we don't believe that the persons are instantiations of a universal.
No one said instantiations.
You just said an instance.
I said an instance of a value in formal logic, brother. Not in metaphysics, not an ontological basis, brother. Pay attention. So listen, I'm asking again. Does Jesus and the Father have the same essential properties?
Yes, they have the same essential properties.
Okay, and they don't have accidents, yeah?
No.
Okay, does the Father, was he begotten or not begotten?
Yeah, the hypostatic identity of the Father is unbegotten.
Okay, so the first person in the Trinity, he has the property of being inaskable, yes?
What does that mean?
Inaskable. It means being not begotten.
Yeah, his hypostatic identity is necessarily being unbegotten.
Okay, so the Father has a property of being not begotten. Does the Son have a property of being not begotten?
Yeah, I thought you knew this. Yes, obviously Jesus has the property, his hypostatic identity is being begotten.
Okay, I asked, does Jesus have the property of being unbegotten?
And hypostatic properties? No.
Okay, great. And if something has attributes and they're not accidental, they're going to be necessary, essential, yes?
Yes, because it's eternal.
Great! How can the Father have the same essence of the Son if two things share the same essence, if and only if they have the same essential predicates? If the Father has essentially the property of being unbegotten, but Jesus does not have the property of being unbegotten, the Father has an essential property that the Son does not have. Thus, by modus ponens, they do not share the same essence or not consubstantial. You can see no issue. Listen, you said that Jesus is God by predication, yes?
Not in the sense of him being like an instantiation, but in the sense
Who's
that
instantiation? Who said instantiation?
So please let me answer. Yeah, when I say by predication, I'm saying in the sense that not of an instantiation or a universal, or that he's like one of a genus, but in the sense that he fully possesses the divine nature.
Okay, what framework of the Trinity says that the three persons are going to be God by predication?
Well, I just believe as an Eastern Orthodox, that's just the position I hold.
Okay, so what's the framework called?
What do you mean, what's the framework called? Does it need an explanation?
What's the Eastern Orthodox framework called for the Trinity?
Does it need one?
It has one, is identified as one. I said in my opening for you. What is it called?
Can I ask a clarifier? Yeah. So what do you mean by framework? Are you asking me where I obtained this
Yeah.
information from?
No, the framework of the Trinity that distinguishes you from the Latins, the Orientals, that makes you unique against the others. You deny filioque, that's one, right? But you have a framework has a name. It's for Eastern Orthodox. What's it called?
In Eastern Orthodox?
Okay, it's called monarchical Trinitarianism. If the Father is the ark of the Son, what does it mean for the Father to be the ark of the Son?
Yeah, to be the originator.
The originator?
The principle.
The principle. So what does it mean to be the principle of something?
Yeah, it's just referring to like the relational roles.
Wait, what does it mean though?
Yeah, it's just the way that the Father begets the Son eternally.
Okay, so I'll tell you what arche means. We actually get it. We get it from Aristotle Metaphysics in the book of Principle and Definitions. Arche means a source of a cause, and that's why Saint Belo Sagra in letter 38, the older brother of Saint Gregory Nyssa, he says the Son's existence is derived from the Father. All right. So let me ask you: do you agree that the Father begot the Son? Begetting is an action. You agree?
You asked me, can the Father beget the Son?
That the Father begot the Son, yes?
Yes, from eternity.
Okay, no issue. We'll see. And begetting is an action, yes?
It's an eternal act, yeah.
Okay, it's an action, okay. Does the genus of action, does it signify the genus of motion? Meaning that with action you have motion, you agree?
No, because the temporal language is it has a fluctuation. So anything that please let me respond. I know you were going to cut me off. The human language is temporal, so that means that anything that we try to explain that's atemporal is already going to like presuppose like some kind of temporal fluctuality. So the same thing like how I can say, was there a time before time? I'm not actually saying that there was a sequence or a change before change exists. It's just that the language is temporal. So anything we explain atemporal is going to always refer to like some kind of temporal fluctuality.
You said language is temporal, yes?
Yeah, is it not?
Is language a universal or particular?
Language, a universal or a particular? I don't get how that makes any sense.
The ontological status, is it instrumental or instrumental? Language.
Yeah, obviously it's instrumental, it's abstract.
Okay. How is it temporal yet in the mind alone?
It's only in the, what do you mean?
That's what you just said instrumental.
Temporal,
inside the mental, into the mind.
Yeah, temporal in the sense that anything we explain is going to always like explain something happening in like a timely like action, like a sequence.
Okay, let me ask you. For action, does it signify emotion? A yes or a no? Quick.
In a temporal sense, yes.
No, I never said the temporal sense. I said in metaphysics, ontologically, does the genus of action signify the genus of motion?
If you're referring to like an eternal action, no.
No. I'm not ascribing eternality. Okay? I'm saying metaphysically, negating temporal or atemporal, in metaphysics, ontologically, does the genus of action signify the genus of motion?
Can I ask a clarifying question?
No, you've been too much clarifying.
I can't ask you a clarifier.
Does the genus of action signify the genus of motion?
Let him ask one clarifier. The time is paused, and then
okay.
There.
Yeah, the clarifier is why do I need to exclude like temporality and eternality?
Because it's a metaphysical priority, and metaphysical priorities, it's outside space time.
Okay, so if I'm negating the temporality, then obviously
no, listen,
you're feeding your own question.
No, by metaphysical priority, does the genus of action signify the genus of motion?
Yeah, motion has changed, so your question is a defeater itself.
Does genus of action signify genus of motion? Yes or no?
I can't answer the question unless I bring temporality.
You're stuck on this question. Let me ask you. Can you give me an example of an action that does not have motion outside the Trinity?
No, anything that is outside of God is temporal, so obviously not.
Oh, wait, no. So I'm asking a yes or a no, nothing else. Are you able to give me an example of something that has action but does not have motion outside the Trinity?
Well, outside of God, no.
No. I never said outside of God. I'm saying outside of
the
God.
Trinity is God.
But one second. So when you say that you cannot demonstrate an example of action without the motion, except for the Trinity, you negate PSR. You brought up PSR. You stay with it. There is no principle sufficient reason why God has an action of begetting without motion. You felt it progs like your own self. Now let me ask you. You brought up the PSR. Who coined the term principle of sufficient reason?
Leibniz.
Okay, we're in Leibniz's book.
I don't know for specific.
Okay.
I didn't learn it from him. I learned it from somebody from the 20th century.
Okay. Does the Father and Son, do they satisfy a equivalence relation inside the divine essence?
Wait, one more time?
Does the Father and Son, do they satisfy the conditions of an equivalent relation inside the divine essence?
Pertaining to PSR?
We're not even talking about principle of sufficient reason.
I thought you were like tailgating that. So
no.
Clarifying question. What is the nature of your question?
Does the Father? Okay. What are the three conditions for an equivalence relation?
Yeah, I don't even know.
It must be reflexive, must be symmetric, it must be transitive. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Do you accept RI predicates or ordinary predicates when it comes to divine essence?
I'm pretty sure we refer to RI predicates.
RI predicates?
I'm pretty sure we refer to that, yeah.
But you said that Jesus is God by predication, not identity. How can you have an RI predicate but reject the relative identity and hold to predications? You're a coach.
Okay, that was a question.
You're done.
That was a question.
You're done.
Cora,
You're done.
Cora, that was a question.
You're done.
Okay,
you're done.
Time.
He asked me a question.
You're done. You're done.
Wait, hold on 1 second. Wait 1 second. Ahmed, you asked your question. Sorry, you asked your last question. I'm gonna let Word conclude just like you concluded at the end of the class exam. So go ahead and give like your last 30 seconds, and then we can move on to conclusions.
Yeah, like I already told Ahmed, if he was listening, when I said predication and not identity, I'm just meaning in the absolute sense. I don't affirm that they're absolutely identical, because then that means in every respect they're identical. So when I say predication, I'm just saying that they possess the nature, right, without being like divided in essence. That's why I come by division. So thank you very much.
Okay, perfect. And now we're going to move on to conclusions. So you can go ahead and start for us, Word. I'll give you a 3-second countdown, all right?
Is that for Ahmed or me?
I believe you started, so Ahmed is going to finish. So you'll do your closing first, and then he'll go after you. Mm-hmm. Okay, so give me big screen just so he can see the time. And once I get big screen, I'll give you a 3-second countdown. All right, and counting down from 3, 2, 1. Go ahead. Wait, hold on 1 second. Give Word big screen as well. All right, so me and Word side by side, just so you can see it. All right, you know what? That works. All right, Word, are you there?
Uh-huh.
Are you ready?
Brother Ahmed was gonna go.
No. You go first, and Ahmed's gonna get closing, so he's gonna go last.
Oh.
Yeah, you went first, so he goes last.
No, yeah, I got it. Yeah, you can start it now.
All right, perfect. 3, 2, 1.
So, Ahmed, I thought you were going to do it more better. You guys see how he didn't want to ask me anything about the law of indiscernibles because he knows in the opening statements I cooked him. You know what I'm saying? I put the roadblock right into his argument. Anyways, getting back to what he said about PSR. PSR is only referring to the creation and the created. Or my bad, the uncreated and the created. So if Jesus the Father and the Holy Spirit all possess the same ontological properties, and they are the reason for why we exist, then the principle of sufficient reason doesn't go against the Trinity. But when it comes to Tawhid, as we've seen, he affirmed that his God changes, and he tried to equivocate and try to make up his own word like he did with Saint Tommy, right? He tried to say that things that are sequenced don't refer to a temporal change. So that means he affirms an eternal change. That's so silly. I've never heard of that ever. I think neoclassical theism is just kind of goofy. Like I said, we all know who won today. Christ is Lord. He didn't bring an actual intellectual argument against the Trinity. He wasn't able to show that it's three gods. Then he tried to put words in my mouth a few times, but you know that's okay. What else? What else? Yeah, like I said, you know, I see how he bullies low tier Christians all the time with the law of indiscernibles and tries to say that the three persons are instantiations. If you guys want me to pull up the video, I can. He literally says it on one of his YouTube videos that the three persons are instantiations of one genus. Yeah, he's dishonest. But you know, outside of that, I respect him as a human being. You know, God bless his soul. May Christ have mercy on him. You know, that's there's not much really to talk about. He didn't refute nothing. I showed him how his God is contingent, how his God changes, how his God is subject to time, and he says time is not created, guys. He said the measurements aren't created, guys. Infinite is unmeasurable, infinite, unmeasurable, no beginning, no end, right? So if that is the case, then eternality cannot be. It cannot be like there can't be an eternal time. It must be timeless, measurementless. You guys get it? If eternality refers to things that which are unchangingly true, unmeasurable, and time is a measurement, therefore time cannot be eternal. It's a direct contradiction. A cannot be not A in the same time, the same sense. Thank you very much. What else did he affirm today, guys? I mean, we've already heard it. We have the clips. They're gonna be coming through. What else, man? What else? I mean, he does what he believes 99 distinct attributes, 99 ontologies. You know, that's hey man, there's not really much to say outside of that. You know, oh yeah, by the way, he did affirm that his God does have intentions that are temporal and both eternal, which is, you know, is crazy. And by the way, if temporal and eternal, if they're like almost interchangeable, as in like there's not a distinction, then temporality and atemporality has no meaning, by the way, Ahmed. But you know, we'll see what he says in his, you know, his conclusion. I know he's gonna be yapping. Like I say, he's gonna be saying nothing, y'all. I didn't even see any Muslims like rooting for him for real. Like, I mean, I know it was only 500 people, but like, I would assume you had like Umar or Anas, or Orthodox Muslim in here. Man, that's crazy. Yeah, hey. The conclusion is just based off of what he provided me. There's not much. He didn't give me an intellectual argument whatsoever, right? All his questions were based on fallacies and equivocations, and you know, that's just what it comes when you a Muslim, man. Anyways, I can see the rest of my 50 seconds. I'm gonna go ahead, man, and start lying already, bro. We're ready to hear it, and thank you.
All right, let's get Ahmed on big screen. Let's conclude this, bro. All right, and Ahmed, I'm gonna give you 3 seconds. Just let me know when you're ready.
Oh shit, you done?
Yeah.
Already? Alright. So, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. You know, thank you so much. Sorry?
I'm gonna give you 3 seconds. All right. 3, 2, 1.
All right. Thank you so much, Darren, for hosting these debates, right? I love to grab people who does not know about their own religion, trying to critique Islam. We bring them up here and they get baba baked. First of all, he called Saint Basil of Caesar a heretic. He said that anybody who said the hypostases of the Trinity are separated, they're going to be a heretic. What does Saint Basil of Caesar, the holy hierarchy, the older brother Saint Gregory, the Catholic father, Saint Letter 38, chapter 4, he says that the hypostases are going to be separated. Second of all, he does not know the 3 categories of Tawhid. First of all, for that, when you are critiquing my religion, I expect you to know the minimal conditions of what I believe in. You are trying to go with a big lead, trying to refute like Ibn Taymiyyah, that you do not even know Thalatha Usul. You do not even know you don't even know the 3 categories of Tawhid. Also, he was also unable to answer the biggest dilemma in Eastern Orthodoxy of the Trinity, where Saint Gregory Palamas was granted sainthood by Philotas Kokinos, and Philotas Kokinos was the same person, the patriarch, and he drafted a Hagrid tome, which is the book for Eastern Orthodoxy. He says in Patrologia Graecae, volume 51, column 880D, that the energies and the essence are distinct, not externally, not in reality, but only in the mind alone by conceptual thought. So to fill on his yap, we are neoclassical theists. I think that Word and I thought I was a classical theist before he came up here. He said, oh, God can act in time. God can do this. God can do that in time. God spoke to Moses. He didn't speak to Moses for eternity. He spoke to Moses in time. Brother, time is not created. It's simply a conception of the intellect of motion, brother. We don't believe that waqt is going to be makhluk. No, who said this? You're uneducated in my religion. The moment you said, oh, Allah acts in time? Oh, God spoke to Moses in time? Oh, your God changed? No, brother. We deny passive we deny passive potentiality onto God, but we allow active potentiality. This is neoclassical theism 101. If you're not certified to debate, then don't get surprised about when I say God can act in time. The reason I did this, brother, is this Word and he went make lies against Islam. I brought him up, and alhamdulillah, I humbled him. He's like, oh, God can speak the Quran in time. The Quran is not eternal. God spoke to Moses in time. Moses eternal. When God spoke to Moses, he didn't speak to him for eternity. He spoke to him in time. If your God subsists right now, and if your God subsists within the next 10 minutes, according to even classical philosophy, and the book of physics, Aristotle says your God's in time. If something is right now, that's time. If your God exists right now, your God's in time. We are not classical theists, but we're neoclassical theists. We believe that God can do anything He wills whenever He wills, right? We believe that God can create something new whenever He wills. The Quran says that He said the universe is going to be expanding. He's perpetually creating the universe, right? It's going to be a perpetual creation. So God's going to be perpetually creating the universe by His will. God can ikhtiyar. The thing is, he didn't know that Muslims affirm that God can act in time. That's the biggest thing. The same thing is like saying, oh, Jesus is God? Oh, Jesus is God? No way, Jesus is God. Brother, Allah can act in time. He does wherever He wills, wherever He wants, brother. This is neoclassical theism 101. No way your entire gotcha moment is that Allah can act in time and His will can occur in time. Brother, this is said in Dar Ta'arud, this is said in Sharh Hadith An-Nuzul, but we're referring the Aristotelians in the East Orthodoxy. Also, you were failed to address the biggest dilemma, that you have the energies in essence collapsing into one intellect within a mind. They're not distinguished externally, which is an issue because now you partake in the essence of God according to Saint Leo, which is the one who wrote the tome in Chalcedon. You want to make fun of me? He wrote the tome in Chalcedon, letter 28. Also, when we refer back to Tawhid, we refer back to the oneness of God, I must end my statement with this. You went up here, your mouth professed of you. You are not here to be intellectually honest. You are here for the viewers. You are here to have an ego, to ride your ego for people saying W word. But listen, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Today, the Word did not win. The Word lost. Assalamu alaikum ya Muslimin. The Word lost, brother.
All right. And I think that concludes, and we're going to move on to Q&As.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, go ahead. 4 questions. Who wants to go first?
All right. So it's going to be 4. You guys agreed 4 Muslims, 4 Christians. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
All right, perfect. So do you want to be questioned, or would you like somebody to question him?
Someone's going to question him.
All right. Okay. Shoot, this is going to be a bit difficult because I don't have mod. All right. Tachi, can you let me know what Christians are in the comments so they can just pick between them?
I see more Muslims. I'm gonna be honest. I see more Muslims.
Just write.
Do you have mod?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what you can just pick the Christian then. Go ahead.
Let's see. Oh, I see. What's good, man?
My thing's kind of lagging a little bit. Give me 1 second. All right, can you hear me?
Yeah, we get you, bro.
All right. Good job, Word. I have a question for Ahmed. A long time no see, bro. So can I ask a qualifier real quick? Is that okay?
Just ask, if you ask your clarifier, but then ask the entire question as a whole.
Okay, yeah.
To reduce back and forth.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's not a problem. Okay, so if Allah would not command anybody to prostrate to anybody other than himself, then obviously he's entitled to people worshiping him alone. So let's take a look. Chapter 27, verse 24 through 26, Satan commands others to prostrate to others instead of Allah. So if Satan's the one that guides other people to prostrate to others instead of God, then chapter 7, verse 11, Allah commanded someone to prostrate to others than himself. So is Satan Allah? Is he a second God?
No, that's not false. It's not sequitur. Satan doesn't guide people. He misguides. He doesn't guide people to prostrate to Allah. He misguides people to try prostrate to other than Allah. Brother.
All right.
You rose him in the word?
The word wins.
You rose him? You rose him?
Wait, hold on. The word wins gets to comment, so you can go ahead and give an answer as well, and then we can move on.
I bet it was a good question. To be honest, I don't know too much about it, so I have no response to that one.
All right. I'm going to pick 4 Ahmeds. Let's get Rabbi Ramad. Let's get Rabbi Ramad. Let's get Rabbi Ramad.
Hey, host.
Why are you laughing?
Well, assalamu alaikum. Just to clarify, I just want to make sure. Word you take from Palamas, right?
Palamas?
Yeah.
Well, I'm still converting to Eastern Orthodoxy, so I haven't fully read everybody.
That's their guy, though, essentially. Because look, you're obviously confused when it comes to like the whole time debate, like God being radically mutable versus immutable, temporal, atemporal, all this stuff. So look, Palamas says that God has eternal energies, but he also has that there's energies that are uncreated. They're not each identical to each other, which is going to be his operations, his actions, but they're not all without beginning. So if there's uncreated energies that are not all without beginning, then that would be intrinsic change. And the reason why, and the question I have for you is, because you had a problem with intrinsic change, which you have to agree to. You can't say it's extrinsic to God. So the question is, would you agree that if Palamas did in fact say this, that he believed in a contingent God? Go ahead.
Yeah, I believe contingency and eternality are two different things that contradict each other, so I don't think that you're actually representing Palamas correctly. That's my answer.
Okay, Ahmed, you can comment. You got like.
I'm gonna be nice. I'm saying this not with arrogancy. I'm actually being serious. I'll tell you what Palamas says. Word. So pretty much, because you don't know about Palamas, I'll tell you. Palamas means that God can have theophany. And theophany is a manifestation of divine essence through his energies, right? Because God's essence, according to, in your religion, God's essence is above the universe. It transcends. Maximus Confession, Bartolomeo Greque, he says that God's essence is neither being nor being, it's super being. It transcends the dichotomy. Therefore, God uses energies to maintain theophany and manifestation with his world. Now, pretty much the entire argument is that before creation, there was no start of where this energies would be, right? Because energies, they subsist within hypostases. They're in hypostasis, not on hypostasis. They're inside the hypostasis. So they would exist, they wouldn't exist at all, but then they would exist, emanate from God posterior to creation, emanation by theosis. So the thing is, your God have intrinsic change too, because not only do you call your God, not only do you call the essence God, but you call the energies God also, according to 150 chapters. I'll be chapter 75 by
All right, wrap it up. 30 seconds. I was over 30 seconds, so. All right, and I believe it is Ahmed's turn to get questioned. You can pick whatever, Christian, since you have mom.
Let's see. Yeah, there's barely any Christians requesting, so...
I wonder why.
All right, bro. I believe, yep, that's a Christian. And by the way, can the moderators, the Christians in the comments, please stop unmuting the blasphemers? Itachi is in the comments muting people who blaspheme. So please stop
you guys
unmuting.
don't unmute anyone, actually. If they're muted, leave them muted for the rest of the live. Thank you.
All right, one of the chosen.
Yo, what up, guys? Hey, great job, Word. You did a great job, brother. Hey, my question for you is, what's the revelation in the Quran? Because I've been told that the Quran itself is the revelation, but revelation, by definition, is something being revealed that was unknown. And we have revelation in the Torah. We have revelation in the New Testament. So what's the revelation in the Quran? And remember, it has to be something we didn't know before. So what's new that we didn't know? Because it sounds like everything we've already had, it's just a repeat of what's existed before. So what's the revelation in the Quran?
Okay. Are you done?
Yeah.
If I write you a letter, and in the letter I said, this letter is written by me, this letter will contain such and such, is it a separate letter?
Don't ask questions, just answer, Ahmed, just answer.
No. The Quran can be talking about itself. It does not make a separation between the Quran was describing. The Quran can describe other revelations in the Injil and Torah. The Quran can be described itself according to chapter 3, verse 3. This is a horrible argument. Bye.
So no revelation.
Are you slow?
You're not allowed to go back and forth with him. It's just a question, and then.
Oh, I just didn't sound like he answered the question. What's the revelation?
All right, and then the word wins. You can comment. Since Ahmed, he went over his 30 seconds, you can comment just until you need to finish, inshallah, just to be fair. Yo, wakey wakey.
Yeah, I'm confused. What's the revelation?
Are you commenting or are you asking Ahmed a question?
No, yeah, I'm just saying, like, I'm confused as well. What is the revelation?
Is that the comment?
I'm not asking him a question. I'm just saying I'm confused myself on what is the revelation.
You got even him confused by your question, brother.
Okay, let's move on. All right, let's move on to the next Muslim that's going to question word. Let's get... Ahmed, do you want the Muslim apologetic?
Yeah.
All right, get TMA up here, bro.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام حياتي.
على وجهك. Barakallahu feek. The word wins. Just to ask my question, just to clarify, you agree that anything that undergoes change is temporal, correct?
Yeah.
All right. So the word wins in this first rebuttal that Ahmed, where he was asking you questions, it's recorded. You explicitly said that the second person of the Trinity, Christ, underwent change atemporally. So according to you, there's going to be a contradiction because you affirmed that there's going to be a change that's atemporal, and anything that undergoes change has to be temporal. Therefore, it's going to be a P and not P. So can you explain that, please, for us?
Yeah, I never affirmed the atemporal change. That's goofy. I simply said...
We're going to post it.
So you can drop him now. Yeah, I never said anything. Yeah, I never said atemporal. I didn't say anything about Christ changes in any atemporal sense. It's a contradiction. So I don't affirm that. And if I did, I misspoke. Two, what I would have meant to say that the change happened within his human faculty, not within his divine nature. So therefore, there's no atemporal change. Next.
All right, do you want to comment?
Word. Do you know what hypostatic union is? The natures are not outside the hypostases. The natures are inside the hypostases. This is why you would think of Komanakashio de Matum in Chalcedon that says that anything a predicate of divinity is predicate of humanity because it's co-referential to the same hypostasis. Bro, you don't know your own. Okay. But it's going to be clipped. We're going to have clip of it.
That's overtime. Okay. All right, let's get a Christian for Ahmed. We're on the third person for Ahmed, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, pick your Christian. Oh, it's you.
Yeah. All right, so Ahmed, earlier in the debate, you said that the law of identity is just Leibniz's law. But then later you said that Leibniz's law quantifies over properties, so it's only expressed in second order logic. So my question is, why did you say that when the law of identity itself can be expressed in first order logic?
The law of identity is reflective.
Well, I'm not even done on my question.
Hold on, let him finish the question. Let him finish the question, then answer.
Yeah, why did you say that when the law of identity itself can be expressed in first order logic, but Leibniz's law can't?
Okay, done?
Yeah.
Okay, drop it. Now, the law of identity A equals A is going to be reflexive. However, Leibniz's law was able, even though it's second order logic, there's going to be formulas in first order logic. Now, the law of identity, we understand that it represents numerical identity, simpliciter. But we know the word wins rejected it when it comes to Jesus being God. He said by predication, which is, you're not Christian no more.
All right, word wins. Again, just because you didn't comment previously, I gave Ahmed a bit over 30 seconds when he was doing his rebuttal previously, so you can comment as long as you need. Just to make it clear.
I already told him that when I said Jesus is God by predication, I'm not meaning in the sense of how a human the human nature is predicated to an instantiation. So, again, Ahmed, right? Just keep online and straw man it, bro. Bring your next person.
I don't think you know what SOL is, brother.
Okay, don't go back and forth. All right, what Muslims are in the request? You know what, WordWins, can you just read out everybody that's Muslim in the request and just let Ahmed pick?
Some dude Arabic name, Imam Dawood, Sarah.
If you're requesting, just say rise me. No, I'll see.
Christians do not comment rise me. Someone said can Quora ask. I don't know if that's against the rules.
Let Tachi pick. No, I don't want this dude.
You already have a dude, bro. You already have a dude, bro. It's too late.
Who picked him?
That's if he wants to touch you, it's fine.
No, wait. I didn't even pick this dude. Who picked him?
I don't know, somebody.
Chill, bro.
What, are you stupid?
Chill. Bro. Don't go back and forth, man.
Okay.
Yeah, issues, bro.
Okay, is there any Muslims in the request that you recognize? And if not, then Itachi's in the comments. He's saying, Itachi, if you're still down there, just pick whatever Muslim you want and bring them up.
Yeah, Itachi. Because we can't, Quora does not have,
I don't know if I'm allowed to ask questions since I'm the mod.
Yeah, but after, you know what's packing, Quora?
Oh, yeah. Wait, Duran, just to clarify, are you there?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Duran, are we going to do an open panel after this, if that's okay?
Yeah, we can open it as long as we keep it respectful. That's my only request. That Muslims and Christians alike can keep it academic and not get insulting, because we want to make sure that we all can have a good time here and just learn.
All right, perfect. Mods are not allowed? Yeah, I'm not allowed to ask questions. I'm the mod.
Let Itachi pick, because we cannot see who's requesting.
Gotcha.
Yeah, 3 categories Tawhid got me, bro.
All right, perfect. Is that Tiger? Is that the Muslim Tiger? Mm-hmm. Nice. All right.
Okay, so you said that Jesus being the begotten Son is an eternal action. Your Bible never says that. However, in Hebrews 5:5 it says that the Father says, "Today I have begotten you." So what happened to the day before that day? Thank you.
Is that it? Oh goodness, don't even. Ahmed, you know that's silly.
Does he need to restate the question, or?
No, I got it. He can get dropped now. Yeah, that's just like a pre-declaration of a statement that's literally just transcribed through the prophets. And again, our language is temporal, so just because it describes something of a temporal functionality, that doesn't mean it's a temporal action, you goofball. I'm sorry, my bad. I'm sorry, Darren. I'm sorry, bro. Lord, forgive me, have mercy on my soul. I'm sorry. That's your answer.
All right, Ahmed, 30 seconds to comment, and then I believe it's one more Christian and then one more Muslim, and then it's wraps.
Yeah, today I begotten you was via human nature. I will multiply church fathers saying that, today has been time. When we talk about today, according to Aristotle in physics, because you're a classical philosopher, he says that any declaration of index of time will be including time. So today, tomorrow, yesterday, that includes time. I don't think WordWins I don't think he understands the church tradition that much, so I don't want to blame him on that.
Wrap that up. Let's get a Christian. All right, perfect. We have bought by blood, one Muslim after this, and then it is done.
Great. Yeah. So my question for Ahmed is going to be this: if it's the case that as we understand change, if it is the case that unbegottenness and begottenness is a Cambridge change, would you agree that Cambridge change is not going to affect the intrinsic nature of the divine, but rather that it would affect the extrinsic relation of the divine?
No, because the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit, according to them, the Cambridge relation is only discernibility from the hypostasis. Now, what you say, via detailed analysis, they're supposed to have the same essence, but they only have the same essence if only they have the same essential properties. Now, because being begotten, being unbegotten are not accidents or essential properties, we concluded, and he can see that they don't have the same essence. Simple as that.
Yeah, so my response to that, again, you're a liar. I never said they don't have the same ontological properties. But again, just keep on lying,
They don't have the same ontological properties?
Don't go back and forth. Don't go back and forth.
Yeah, no, I clearly just said, Ahmed, open your ears, maybe take your hoodie off. You can't,
Calm down,
hear
don't
sorry, my bad. I'm sorry, my bad. Lord forgive me. I said that they share the same ontological properties, bro.
You done?
That concludes it all, right?
All right, perfect. One more Muslim, and then the debate is concluded, inshallah.
Yo, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi
wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
So my question is for the word wins in regards to what was the response to the counter argument posed by Ahmed in regards to God's jealousy? You made the claim that God loving or having the property of being the most loving would entail that there would have to be something prior to creation, or rather it was that God actualizing this attribute in creation would make him contingent. However, in regard to the Ahmed's counter argument, I'm not too sure if there was a response. What is the response to God being jealous in regards to relations? Thank you.
Before creation?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I can answer this question very simply and easily, and maybe if other people heard me in my opening statements, I don't affirm there's a time to God, so there's no today, there's no here, no after, right now, none of that. So when you say before God, or before creation, I don't believe there's a time before time. That's the answer. So, no, obviously, like, God is not subject to a measurement of when he's giving something or not giving something, because it's eternal. Thank you very much.
Cora, can I respond?
Yeah, you get 30 seconds to respond, and then this concludes everything.
Word, you didn't bake yourself. You Bubba baked yourself. You said that you cannot make affirmative statements about God before time. So you cannot say that Jesus was begotten by the Father before time. You just made a cataphatic, intrinsic relation within God before time. You just Bubba baked yourself, brother. Why do you do this, bro? This is embarrassing.
Okay.
I don't want to be part of this.
Since the debate is over, since the debate is over.
Wait, hold on real quick before we get going, because I know y'all got a lot to say, and I know we're going to bring up some people here in a minute. Let me just say thank you to both of you guys. I think both of you guys did an extraordinary job.
Thank you so much, Darren.
Thank you, Darren. Thank you. Appreciate you, brother.
Thank you so much, bro. And thank you guys in the chat for keeping it respectful for the most part. I think I saw a couple things, and I think we muted the people that needed to be muted. Also, thank you to the moderators for being equitable in the chat, making sure Christians get muted as well, not just Muslims. We want to continue to keep this equitability, especially in my live. I want to make it conducive for both Muslims and Christians to come and just dialogue. So thank you guys. Thank you for Itachi as well for moderating the chat down there, man. Really appreciate you being part of this situation. And Cora, man, thank you so much for just being equitable in the moderation.
Hey, Cora.
So big ups to you.
Darren,
Yeah.
I want you to swear to God that I got baked.
Nah, I ain't sure, man. Y'all did good. Boy, all y'all.
I want you to swear to God I got baked.
Why would I say
Ahmed, I want to respond to one thing Ahmed said.
One second.
Wait, hold on. You guys can argue on the panel.
First of all, we let our yes be yes and our no be no. Did you bake him? Absolutely not. No,
Darren,
it was good.
I want you to swear to God.
Why would I
swear to God right now I got baked?
Hey, we don't swear, bro.
Did I not just say it was a very good? Hey, guys.
Hey, we respect our
God. You
guys.
guys did very good. Both of you guys did extraordinary. In my opinion,
Darren,
I think you both did great.
Darren, out of our hearts, the Muslims, we respect you because you keep it professional, right? You keep it academic.
I try, my brother. I try.
All right.
Wait, Ahmed, I have a question.
Wait, hold on, Duran. Can we just set some parameters for the open panel so it doesn't get crazy?
Yeah, the same rules apply, actually. People in the comment section, everything still applies. If somebody is disrespecting in the comments, you're still going to get muted. So if you guys, and I'm going to jump in, do that. If you guys start getting out of control, because I'm still at work, I will be listening, but I want to make sure you guys don't start name calling, because I know it's going to get heated a little bit. Let's just try to keep it academic, you guys, honestly. I'm going to leave the chat open, guys, for another 30 minutes. So I'll let it go for 30 minutes, but then I got to close the live because the brother got to get back to work.
Sure.
All right, bet.
I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.
And how many Christians are we doing?
And you guys determine, Word will determine who comes up to him.
Is it gonna be 3 Muslims, 3 Christians?
Yeah, let's do it that way. I won't be a part of the conversation, so I actually don't count because I got to work.
We're missing something, bro. You know what we're missing? You know what we're missing?
Yeah, we're missing the question I have for you, Ahmed.
No, we're missing.
No, Ahmed.
The body bag.
All right, bro. Turn the camera off.
Bro, that is Hey, bro,
get your ass in there, bro.
I think we're good too. You guys did
Hey, man.
Hey, I'm jumping down. Hey, Cora,
hold on.
you,
Hey,
hold on, Cora.
Ahmed.
I'm gonna leave it to Cora to make sure it stays respectable. Continue to moderate this, dude. I know you're gonna jump in, Cora, but make sure everything stays moderated. And make sure they don't
Darren,
start
man.
yelling and screaming and saying all kind of craziness. I appreciate you.
Hey, Darren, man. Why
Thank
he
you so
showing his
much.
mama purse?
I'll take those.
Why he showing his mama purse, bro? Put that away, bro.
Hey, not too much, man. Not too much, man.
Hey, relax.
That's not an insult. What you mean?
All right, I'm jumping down, Cora. Make sure they don't go crazy, dude.
I got you.
Hey, Ahmed, before you dip, I have a question for you.
Wait, hold on 1 second. Before the open panel starts, before you ask your question, you pick your 3 Christians, Ahmed will pick his 3 Muslims.
Right. Bro, Cora, you already know who I'm picking. Just rise them right now. Or rise, get a touch and rise them. Cause...
Alright. Who are the Muslims that you want, Ahmed?
I mean, there's no point to ask me because I can't see who's requesting.
Okay, the word wins. What Muslims are in the request box?
Zebo, Umar,
yeah, get Umar Lighthouse
Itachi.
for sure.
Itachi, rise Itachi.
Get Itachi, of course.
Okay. I'm just curious, WordWins, you said that God is outside of time. Does God exist now?
That question itself is false.
Huh?
Okay, so it's either the case God exists right now or he doesn't.
Yeah, so the question is presupposing that God is existing in like a timely manner to where there's a now for him. I don't believe that.
No, the now, look, like Boethius.
The now is within the created order, brother. The now is in the created reality, not the uncreated reality.
So you agree with people like Boethius and Peter Lombard and these guys?
I mean, I don't know no Boethius, bro.
No, I'm just saying their name. Just don't panic, dude. Let me just tell you. So God neither exists today, tomorrow. He doesn't exist yesterday, and then he says he exists at all times. So would you hold to a B theory model of time?
So again, right, you're strawmanning my position. I'm not saying that he doesn't exist for us. I'm saying God does not exist in a time, like in a timely matter. Like there's no today, there's no Wednesday, no Thursday. I'm saying that he himself does not exist in a temporal reality in the sense of
I don't think you're tracking what I'm saying. You could hold the view that there's one eternal now and you're eternal. And in time, it just seems to be the case that things are changing, but the now is just one eternal now. You could hold that view. That's going to be the B theory model of time.
Are you affirming now? Are you affirming now as like a place and time?
Now refers to the present.
Yeah, does it refer to a place and time?
The present is obviously time, yeah.
Okay, so do I believe that God is subject to time?
No, you don't. That's the whole point.
Oh, thank you.
How does you don't say thank you and act like you did something. Because the problem in your position, which is why you're very ill-read when it comes to this, is how does the eternal now correspond to the present? Because you would say that God is causally sustaining the universe right now, right?
Causally sustaining. Is that like an ongoing motion?
Is God sustaining the universe?
He sustains the universe.
Yeah, is that like eternally?
There's not a measurement of how long he's doing something. Nice try though, Umar.
It's either it's eternal or it's not.
In a temporal sense. Of course it's eternal, but that's why there's a distinction between temporality and eternality.
Hey, he's been eternally sustaining the universe?
What do you mean by eternally? Like forever going?
No beginning and no end.
Okay, that's not forever going. That's everlasting, dude.
I'm not talking about post-eternal. I'm talking about pre-eternal. Track.
You're saying eternally creating, as in like there's an always constant. There's not an always constant in eternality, bud.
That's not what I'm asking. The universe came into existence at a point of time. We agree. We're theists, right? The universe did not always exist. Now,
exactly.
Does the universe rely on God's causal to like causally sustain it? You would agree, obviously. Yes.
Yes.
You don't hold to existential inertia. Okay. So if you don't hold to existential inertia, where you hold the idea that the universe is contingent, but it's just contingent because it's originated, not the fact that it requires God to sustain it throughout its existence. Well, if it does require God to sustain it throughout its existence, and you don't hold to existential inertia, then God would be causally sustaining it now, at this moment. Now the question becomes... To us
is the now, brother. To us is the now. Not to him. Not to him.
Thank you. That's exactly what I'm saying. So now what you've done is you've reduced all times into one. past, present, and future are all going to be one from God's perspective. From our perspective, it seems that we're changing, but you hold to a B theory eternalism model of time. So you're eternal, objective.
Future.
That's a concession.
It's not. But nice try.
Yeah, wait. I had a
That
question for.
that is an actual concession. GG's.
Because
concession. I would have to be making a statement of concession, goofball.
Okay,
so.
brother, just move on, brother.
Yeah, I just had a question if like anybody have the full debate because I missed like a lot of it. So like
It's gonna get
post it somewhere.
It's gonna be somewhere. Trust me. Don't worry about that.
You hold to like an A theory model or B theory. I'm sure you talked to Kamal and the other guys when it comes to this.
Yeah, I hold presentism.
Presentism, W man, W. Yeah, presentism is based. B theory eternalism.
I take the view of Ryan Mullins.
W. Oh my God, nice. Yeah, look, the problem about my blood, what I'm trying to introduce is if now is just, if things are changing from our perspective, then from God's perspective, things would have to be eternal, and we would have to hold to this B theory eternalism model of time. But I don't think that's compatible with any of the Abrahamic faiths.
No, I understand. I mean, it could just be the case that, like when you're talking about the sustaining, God could have created nature in such a way that it sustains itself. In the same way that we have, for example, like if you work for a company and you start the company, the goal of the company is that the company would be self-sustaining, and that would be just in the fact of you no longer, you put the things in motion in virtue of how it should sustain on, like McDonald's, what should be on the menu, the prices, the things like that. But the company itself is self-sustaining to where the CEO does not have to be involved in every single interworking. So I think there's a sustaining factor by God that is going to be directly indexed toward creating nature in such a way.
Yeah, but that's just existential. that's kind of the issue.
Yeah.
Like we as theists, we never want to hold to that position where contingency is only in the fact that an item is just, or like something that exists is just originated, but it doesn't rely on God throughout its existence, right? And for example, if I build a house or something, and then I say, okay, the house no longer needs me to sustain it. Well, that's me building that. It's just a preparatory cause. It's not something that's going to be throughout its existence, like entirely. So there was actually some like Shia philosophers who responded to this themselves. Interestingly enough, as much as we disagree.
Yeah,
with
there's two. I encourage a lot of theists to read the book "The End of the Timeless God" by philosopher Ryan Mullins.
That's exactly. He bakes them. It's a beautiful book. I read it twice. Like I'm probably gonna read it.
Yeah,
a third time,
it's pretty dangerous.